Welcome. Today, we'll be discussing the idea of mapping in rigid motions. So let's start by considering a function, y equals 2x plus 1. What we want to do, we want to find the range values given the domain values. So let's remind ourselves, domain are all the possible x values within a function, and range are all the possible y values within my function. To perform this mapping, what we can do, we can consider the function that we are given, y equals 2x plus 1, and let's plug in the value of 1 to my function. What will be the y value that we obtain when we plug in the value of 1? Well, that will be 2 times 1 plus 1, which is equivalent to 3. Well, that will be the range value that we obtain when we plug in the value of 1. Let's find the range value when the domain has a value of 2. So let's go to our function. And now let's plug in the value of 2. So we'll get 2 times 2 plus 1, which is equals to 5. That will be the next range value. When we plug in 2, we get a value of 5. And let's repeat this. Let's plug in the value of 3. Now the range value that we obtain is 7. Let's plug in the value of 4. Now we get a value of 9 out. What we have done here, we have performed a mapping. We got an x value, we plug it in to some function, and we obtain a y value. When we perform a mapping, we have a specific vocabulary. Let's discuss that vocabulary. The image of a mapping is the set of points which result from the mapping. Which in this case, those are all the range values, because those were the outputs of the mapping. The pre-image is the set of points that we plug into the mapping. Which in this case, the pre-mapping of this example are all the domain points, because notice that those were the points that we were plugging in into our mapping. Now the mapping, we can define it as the correspondence between set of points. Which in this case, that was the function. Because notice that here we have a correspondence. When we plug in the value of 1, we obtain the value of 3. Here we have another correspondence. When we plug in the value of 2, we obtain a 5. Here we have another correspondence. When we plug in the value of 3, we obtain a 7. And we can say that we have a one-to-one mapping if every set of points in the image has exactly one point of the pre-image. Which notice that this mapping is one-to-one, because every single point in the range has exactly one point coming from the domain. Hello, if you would like to continue to learn about mathematics, you can check out the videos on the left.